Call to order the Centennial School District School Board Committee of the Whole meeting Tuesday, November 25th, 2025. Mrs. Roosh, can we do a roll call, please?
Mrs. Brancato.
Here.
Mr. Godikson.
Present.
Mr. Gindhart.
Here.
Mrs. Crossan.
Present.
Mr. Hartline.
Present.
Dr. McGuire.
Here.
Mr. Sadowski.
Here.
Mr. Martin.
Present.
Mrs. Lynch. We have 8 members present.
Thank you. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? And if you don't mind, if you could just stand for an extra moment of silence, and maybe offer up some prayers for Mrs. Lynch so that she recovers quickly. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Announcements, I have none. Dr. Lucabaugh, do you want to give the superintendent's report, please?
Thank you, Mrs. Brancato. Good evening, everyone. So today, as we approach this coming Thursday and Thanksgiving for many members of our community and across our country, a lot to be thankful for, but I wanted to bring highlight to something in particular and then talk a little bit about some of the reasons behind it. So today, there was a newspaper article. I don't know if anybody saw it yet or not, and it was highlighting the recent release of the PSSA scores in the state of Pennsylvania and our Keystone results as well. And tonight, Mr. Rutz is going to be presenting our district data to the board and to the public. And there's a very, very encouraging picture that he's going to highlight and some trends that are very exciting. But in particular, and I think this speaks to the work of the team here and the work that they've done, the foundation that they've put in place, and the foundation that they continue to build upon. Of all the districts in Bucks County, only one district improved its scores in English language arts, and that is Centennial. The other 12 experienced some dip. Centennial improved. And I believe that is not by accident. I believe that that is very purposeful and intentional, and it's because of the good work that is occurring here every day. It's the work that has been occurring in the district, and I will tell you, coming in and seeing what is going on here and seeing the quality and seeing the care that people put into the work every day, it's very inspiring. And I think that the results that Mr. Retz is going to talk about and that incredible affirmation of achievement that was reported on today is an indicator of not only where we are now, but more importantly, where we're going to continue to go as a result of what's going on. And I can tell you, education is really guilty, as I guess many occupations are, of using jargon. We have our own language and a lot of terms that we use, acronyms. And there's a fancy term called collective efficacy, which research says is the #1 indicator of achievement and the #1 indicator of great organizations. Collective efficacy really boils down to this. It's when all of the adults believe that they, together, can coalesce around students and cause learning. And it's rarely found in districts. The research will tell you it's rarely found in school districts. And I really do believe, having visited schools all the time, I try to get into schools every day, if possible, and as do our teams. We're very visible and involved. When you see the quality of our employees, when you see the dedication of our employees, and you watch the way they interact with our students and the quality of our students, it's very impressive. And it's something to be proud of, and I just want the community and the public to know that the children, the almost 5,500 students who come into our district every day, are being met at the school doors by people who care about them as people, who care about them as individuals, who care about them as those deserving an education. And I believe that as this work continues, our students are going to leave here very prepared, very ready for the challenges that lie ahead. And I just want to say thank you for that. The results are exciting. It's a wonderful thing to hear about and celebrate. But I just want to thank everyone who causes that. We talked about something called interdependence at the start of the year, where everyone's roles matter, starting with the board and all the way down through the organization. You know, but our buildings, if you walk into our buildings right now, they look like they did in August when the floors were done. I was talking with our new assistant superintendent, Dr. Zach, and he said, these buildings are incredible. I said, yeah, our facilities are amazing. And Mr. Wortman and his team and what they do. And that's but one example of hundreds of examples of just the work and the time and the quality that people invest every day. And it speaks volumes. And so I just want to say thank you. There's a lot to be proud of, a lot to be grateful for, and just wish everyone a very happy and healthy holiday. And thank you for everything that you do to cause learning in and outside of the district. And looking forward to Mr. Rutz, your presentation tonight. Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, thank you. Mr. Godekson, it's your turn.
No public comments, I take it. Item 2 is the approval of the agenda. Be it resolved that the Centennial School District Board of School Directors, 2.1, approves the November 25th, 2025 Committee of the Whole agenda as per attached. Are there any corrections that need to be made that are allowed by PA law?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Crossan. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Passes 8-0. Moving on to new business. We have 3 items. Can we take them all together? Sounds good. Be it resolved that the Centennial School District Board of School Directors, 3.1, approves the personnel agenda, including resignations, terminations, authorization to employ, leaves of absence, rescindment of sabbatical, suspensions, change of status, fine art festival, and co-curricular clubs activities as per attached. 3.2, approves the tuition agreement for student 11-3 to attend Comprehensive Learning Center per their IEP recommendation and requirements for the 25-2026 school year. District cost prorated not to exceed $97,904. And lastly, 3.3, approves retroactively the before and after care service agreement with A Child's Place for elementary students for a 3-year period effective July 1st, 2025 through June 30th of 2028. Second by Mr. Sadowski. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Passes 8-0. Moving on to presentations, and this is where Mr. Rutz comes into play. State level assessments data for the 24-25 school year.
Good evening, everybody. Last month, we presented the local assessment data. You remember we looked at Dibbles and iReady and IXL data. This is a review of the state assessment data, PSSAs and Keystones. Let me get right to the meat of it, if you don't mind. There is a table of contents on the slide deck if you need that. I always like to pause every year just to differentiate between achievement and growth, since we cover both achievement and growth on the state assessment assessments. Achievement is one big test. It's a snapshot in time for achievement, and it compares a student to a statewide standard, some kind of level of proficiency or standard. That is different than growth, in that growth looks at a student's improvement over time. So we take a snapshot of a previous year's PSSA or PSSA, and we look at how the student is doing in that time to the next PSSA. Growth is often considered a fair component because it compares the student to him or herself rather than just to a standard. So I just want to clarify that. I do that slide every year. For grades 3 through 8, PSSA math, the achievement, we were 44.7% of our students were proficient or advanced, which is a 4% increase from 2024 to 2025. And on the next slide, you're going to see our trend line that we've shared the last few years. We are above the state average of 41.7%, which is the blue line. And what I tagged in there on the orange line for Mr. Goddickson's request, I was able to find just where the state was last year. So you could see we were in comparison to the state average and where our scores were last year. The orange line on this slide represents 40.5%. So there was just a slight uptick in the state average, but we are at 44%, 44.7, and the state average is 41.7%. That's grades 3 through 8 in math. Next, we looked at Keystone Algebra. Keystone Algebra, 37.1% of our students scored proficient or advanced. This is a slight decrease year over year from 2024 to 2025. The achievement was still above the state average. We're at 37.1%. The state average was 31.5% on the Keystone Algebra for 2025. Again, there's a trend line there that you see in your slide, pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. For our growth, that was achievement. For growth, you could see where our schools were for growth in mathematics, ranging from well below to well above. More consistency in the grades 3 through 8, which we can circle back and discuss in a moment. For PSSA English Language Arts, grades 3 through 8 came in at proficient or advanced, 52.8%. This is a 2% increase from 24 to 25. The state average was 49.9%. We're above the state average this year. We were below last year. Made good headway with that with grades 3 through 8 PSSA. And for for Keystone Literature, 59.8% was a 3.2% increase year over year, 2024 to 2025. Again, this is achievement. Our 59.8% on the Keystone Literature was above the state average of 51%. And our growth, we ran the table with growth with ELA, both grades 3 through 8 and the Keystone were well above in growth for 2024-25. Wanted to pause here about the PSSA science test. We talked about this last year a little bit. There were no scores reported for last year. Last year was the first year that the PSSA was moved to grade 5. It's in grades 5 and 8 now instead of grades 4 and 8. So we have some students who are lucky enough to have the PSSA in grades 4 and 5. But last year was a field test for science. So we do not have any reportable scores in that. Bio Keystone last spring stayed the same, except for there were some field test items, practice questions in the test, but they were not counted as part of the score because the state is still kind of working through what the new biology Keystone exam is going to look like this spring. So I only have our Bio Keystone scores to report right now. 37.5% of our students were proficient advanced on the Keystone. This was a slight increase year over year, 2024 to 2025. Still slightly below the state average, 41.2%. And our growth at the high school was well below. Again, we have science waiver basically for grades 5 and 8, so there are no scores to report for the PSSA science. We'll have them next year. We'll have scores to report, but it's going to take the state about 3 years of tests to have growth data. We're going to look at 4 subgroups, as we do all the time. Economically disadvantaged for last year, 85% or 11 out of 13 of grade level growth measures met or exceeded the state average. So we're very happy to see this growth for economically disadvantaged. Same for English language learners. I believe this is 2 years in a row we've had 100% of this cohort. 13 out of 13 indicators, grade level growth measures met or exceeded the standard and demonstrated growth. Our lowest performing, 33%, 92% of this cohort, 12 out of 13, met or exceeded their standard for growth. And students with IEPs, 92% of this cohort as well met or exceeded their grade level growth standard for the year. In summary, this little chart here for PSSA Math 3 through 8, we were both above last year's district score and above the state average. Keystone Algebra 1, we had that slight dip, 2.7%, I believe, yet still above the state average. 3 through 8, PSSA Language Arts was both above last year's district score and above the state average. Same with Keystone Literature. No score to report for PSSA Science in grades 5 and 8. Keystone Bio had a slight uptick in achievement, did not beat the state average, rise above the state average for growth. I don't want to read all this at you. I'm going to get to the next slide. This is just our summary of the evidence-based systems that we have put in and maintain that really are helping to support the growth and achievement that we're seeing in our local and state scores. This is just a quick slide for takeaways and trends. Leaning into this statement, the data reveals a district showing steady post-pandemic recovery with achievement scores that are at or above both pre-pandemic levels and the P8 state averages. Just highlighting a few things: systemic success, high growth in our PVOS, especially ELA, access and opportunity for all. We're seeing each of those cohort groups achieve and grow. Some next steps for full transparency. We do have some mixed performance in our Keystone scores, and ELA needs continued support. We are very happy to see the growth that we have, but just a reminder that we're only in year 3 of a new literacy program aligned to the science of reading for grades K-5, year 2 for grade 6. This is the first year of implementation of Wit and Wisdom in grade 7. Wit and Wisdom gets implemented next year in grade 8, as we're also moving to pre-AP English at the high school. So we're just at the cusp, really, of a lot of work in our ELA program, and we're already seeing great results with that. Any questions?
Just a comment from my side, and that is in regards to the Keystone Algebra.
Yes.
No, our numbers did go down, but this is, a statewide, county-wide issue. It's not just a Centennial issue.
Correct. We saw scores statewide decrease. It reminds me a little bit on the ELA side, Mr. Goddick, so we're nationally 4th grade reading scores have been dropping the last 4 years. We've bucked that trend this year. Our 4th grade scores actually in ELA increased year over year, so I'm happy to see that. I'm also glad that we are continuing our partnership with Hanover Research. They've been working for the last year with the district to do a capstone report like we did in ELA and science before it. That Hanover capstone report, which is a full programmatic evaluation of K-12 math, that should be published in January, and that will lead our work for the next 12 to 14 months to find areas of strength and areas of improvement in math. I do want to take a moment to just recognize that we've been working with your support on our K-12 science as well. I didn't touch on that too much in the presentation, but this is our first year of implementing Open SciEd in K-8 for science. That's K-8 at the high school level. We have, sorry for the slang, we've steelsed up for the new STEEL standards, environmental literacy, Earth Science 1, Earth Science 2, and in 27-28 we'll be moving biology from 9th grade back to 10th grade where it used to be, and that will give us a full K-12 plan to address areas of need and areas of improvement for our students.
Thank you for that, and thank you to the whole Centennial team
The
for your
team's
hard work.
amazing. The team's amazing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll agree. Kudos to our students for the wonderful gains they've been making, and there's stuff to work on, but there's some very positive things to celebrate. And thank you to our teachers for their hard work. As Dr. Lukerball said, you can't find a building in this district that isn't packed with stellar educators who are very dedicated and very good at what they do for our kids every day. And again, as you said, it's a full team effort. So this is the result of years of organization and coordination and learning and adjusting curricula and putting the right supports in place. So thank you all for what you've done to help us get here as well.
Thank you. I'm very blessed to work with the teachers, work for the teachers that we have. Our instructional coaches make a difference. I do want to shout out to our building administrators. Without their support at the building level, what we do in teaching and learning just could not happen. So thanks to the team. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rutz. Committee reports, Mr. Godekson.
I'm going to start there, and where not to start. We actually spent probably half the meeting talking about these state assessment data, that as Mr. Rutz just presented. Besides that, Dr. Saccharin presented some upcoming meetings, and the other items that was discussed quite a bit was program from the high school. We're looking at adding 4 new courses, and very exciting courses, one an AP course. We'll see them down on the agenda. Working on the astronomy program, creating a class there, as we are now looking back to the program that we have here at the high school. And then lastly, we are looking at 4 items that's recommended for approval tonight. Thank you.
Mr. Hartline?
All right, so for finance, we laid through some procedural events that need to take place around development of the budget and the budget calendar that will be coming forward shortly for a motion item. Additionally, we had a discussion regarding the year-to-date budget as well as some financial updates. Slide 17 has the budget discussion statement in it, and in that is laying out 3 to 4 year time frame with some grants, overtime reductions, district placements, et cetera, that we are looking at for financial purposes. It was also brought up that we have 2 development projects that are currently underway, one in Warminster and one in Upper Southampton. The one in Upper Southampton is a substantial development, which I believe is a 55-plus community. So that will be bringing on some healthy tax revenue for us with no additional students coming into the district. The one in Warminster is a much smaller development project. I believe it's under 20 units, and that one is a complete or traditional residential district as well. Finance as well as administration has also been looking and comparing our budgets and our expenditures to some of our surrounding school districts to see if we are out of kilter in some of the, in comparison to some of our peers in the area. And there are some things that we do that we are spending more money on that we are looking at as to why we are going down that path, and see if we can put a correction in on that as well. For information items, you have our standard, Pennsylvania School Districts Liquid Asset Fund monthly report and the investment reports that are required, where we can invest in, et cetera. So that will be it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ginhart, please.
Okay, for operations, we met November 14th, and the entire meeting was dedicated to the updates on the long-awaited and finally happening renovations to the family and consumer science labs in both Klinger and Log. They're going to be really great when they're done. There's a lot of good stuff going in there. Biggest part of the presentation was on hiring the engineering firm to act as a project manager to handle all phases of both projects. It'll be on the agenda later on. When you look at that item to be approved, keep in mind that all but $23,800 of that is costs that we would incur anyway for doing this project. Engineering drawings, plans, permits, all the standard construction items. It's just going through Barry Izett, so that's why that number looks the way it does, but it's stuff we would put out anyway. So what we're left with is the 23, divide that among two different classrooms, two different projects that are going to be very large in scope. Just a little under 12 grand to get full project management to make sure that these go start to finish flawlessly and we end up with fantastic classrooms. It's a bargain to get this done in this way and not have to tie up Mr. Wortman's valuable time to be running back and forth between two different buildings and not being able to stay on top of keeping the facility so great. So other than that, that was all we talked about, and the next meeting will be January 16th at 11.
Mr. Gidhart, do I have a question for you? Don't a lot of those drawings have to be under an architect or an engineer seal anyway? So we'd have to go through the process?
Anyway.
No, okay.
Thank you. Mr. Goodixon?
Education Student Services Committee, we had the presentation, so we do not have any more. 6.2, we have 4 items for approval. Can we move them together? Seeing no objections. Be it resolved that the Centennial School District Board of School Directors, 6.2A, approves the overnight conference request for the Supervisor of Student Services to attend the 2026 Improving School Performance Conference, January 25th through the 28th, in 26 in Pittsburgh, PA. District cost not to exceed $2,075.19. 6.2B approves the overnight conference request for the Data Assessment and PIM Specialist, the Registrar of Student Services Administrative Assistant to attend the 2026 PDE Data Summit Conference in Hershey, PA, March 30th, 2026 through April 1st, 2026. District cost not to exceed $3,100. 6.2C approves the purchase of library books for the Davis Elementary School Library, district cost not to exceed $2,847.37. And 6.2D approves the 2026-2027 William Tennant High School Program of Studies, including 4 new courses and the revised course proposal, district cost not to exceed $12,250.
Second.
Second by Mr. Hartline. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Passes 8-0.
Mr. Hartline?
All right, finance. There are 2 items that are for information that were aforementioned. One is the monthly report for the liquid asset funds. The other is the annual reported outlook presented by the same organization. And for approval tonight, we only have 1 item. Like I said earlier, this is pretty much a procedural item. It sets the calendar for the whole budget process based upon the adoption date required by law, working our way backwards from the election in May. So from the primary election backwards starts the process, and then the completion date is the same every year. So are there any questions regarding that? All right, seeing none, be it resolved that the Centennial School District Board of School Directors approves the following item. 7.2A, adopts the 2026-2027 Budget Development Calendar.
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Crossen. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes 8-0.
Okay, moving into operations, nothing for information, 1 item for approval. Be it resolved that the Centennial School District Board of School Directors, 8.2A, approves the agreement with the engineer of record, Barry Izett, to plan all phases of the Log College and Klinger Middle School Family and Consumer Sciences classroom renovations. District cost not to exceed $81,400. Second.
A question?
Second, Mr.
Just
Sapp.
curious.
Question?
Why we don't ever solicit proposals from other engineering firms. There are many qualified engineering firms located in Bucks County, and when you go out for a project, for a proposal, you can get a wide variety of numbers, and we award it to somebody without, I have no, this may be a wonderful deal at a great price. I have no way of knowing that unless you have somebody or several people to compare it to, so we know we're getting the best possible price for this. So I was just curious why it seems like we never go out and solicit proposals for some of these engineering jobs when there are many firms who are qualified and able to do it.
Barry Izett is our engineer of record, but because it has to do with bidding and operations, I'm going to defer to Mr. Greenwood and Mr. Wortman.
Like Mr. Ginhart said, Barry Izett is our engineer of record that we brought on for a 3-year period. So I normally use them. We have set fees for them that we've already approved, that were approved in that 3-year term by the board. So we use them because they were approved by the board to be used. I mean, if you...
I think they also have, they've worked with the district, as you know, Mr. Martin, for some time, right? So they have very intensive knowledge of our buildings. They did a lot of work in Log and Klinger back, I think, 6 years ago when we had some instability in walls and some issues that played out there. And I think that's the course that we have been on.
Maybe next time we have an engineer to entertain, we solicit other proposals. I'm not knocking the company we have. It's just you don't know what else is out there and what their prices are. When you go continuously with the same, they can charge you whatever they want, basically.
We'll look into it.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Carries 8-0.
Are there any board comments?
I just have a question.
Go ahead, Ms. McGuire.
It came to my,
Dr. McGuire.
it came to my attention about 2 weeks ago at the Transportation Department, they were doing some team building, et cetera, and a employee of the month or employee of the week, and apparently they were notified, I don't know who, by whom, that they had to take all that down and not do that. Is, you have an answer to that, or why they had to remove all that?
That was employee of the month.
Employee of the month, right. So why were they asked to take it down and not proceed with this, with team building?
That is something I'm not able to answer at the moment. I'm going to need to ask questions and find out what the genesis of that was.
Oh, okay, great.
So,
Thanks.
Mr. Wortman, do you know why?
Not to speak
No.
truthfully about it right now. I don't want to not speak about it, knowing everything about it. So.
Yeah, I'm just curious where that would have came from, and because it was something that was really nice, it's something that they were implementing and everything, and next thing you know, to get a phone call from administration or the administrative office, they had to remove it and not move forward with any more of these recognitions.
I'll get more detail. I'll get back.
It didn't cost anybody anything except for a parking spot for a month, which
Can we
is,
do that here, too? An employee of the month?
We've not had.
Yeah, I think it was a nice thing to do and something nice to bring up. And when you're trying to do something nice for the people that you work with, and then you're asked to, administrative office to take it down and not do it anymore, right? It's just strange. So, thank you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it.
does anybody else, of course, Mrs. Crossen?
Yes, I do. I just wanted to wish our Centennial team and our community a happy Thanksgiving. And be safe.
Is there anybody else? Okay, that leaves me. So it's no secret, today's my last night. I wish all of you, or most of you, well. I debated whether to make this statement tonight, and I felt it was something I needed to do. 8 years ago, I was asked to run for the school board. I had no desire to be on the school board. I am somebody who fights for kids. That's what I've always done. They are our most precious gifts, and I feel we all need to care, so I cared. To those who have supported me over the years, I thank you. I could not have done it without you. I have met some incredible people along the way, and I am so thankful. I have no regrets for my decisions. We now have a wonderful superintendent who is student-focused. We have a superintendent who guides with respect. The superintendent has been in more classrooms and at more events in 5 months than our previous superintendent was in 5 years. We have brilliant administrators and amazing principals who strive to make our schools impeccable. These children are lucky. We have great teachers and the hardest working support staff. To all of you, keep being amazing. The kids are counting on you. To those of you on the board who have supported me, I thank you. To those who have disagreed respectfully, I understand. That's the ones who have disagreed respectfully, the other ones, not so much. To those of you on the board who tried to tear me down, I want to assure you that you did not succeed. I will still be the same person when I leave here, and that is a woman who values children above all. To those of you who will make up this board next week, ask yourself why you're here. Some of you are here for the kids and community, but sadly, some of you are here for your own egos. Being on the board makes you feel important. I find that very sad. This board never brought me a sense of importance. I already get that in my own family. To those of you on the board, come next week, that slung mud as much as you could my way, I want you to know you did not destroy me as you planned. I stood 2 feet away from some of you and your friends while you blatantly lied about me. That's something you have to answer for one day, not me. That's very sad for you. I feel bad for you that you had to lie to further yourself. To those of you who have actually paid off mentally ill people at one time, not recently, 4 years ago, to harass my grown children, I want you to realize that my family stands together. My daughters were stalked, but you failed to realize that at the end of the day, they are my daughters. So who do you think they take after? My sons were harassed, and again you failed to realize I've taught my children well, and you did not change their lives, although you tried. The hatred on this board was blatant, and I want you to know I feel badly for you, because you're very small people. The personal vendetta was immature at best, and I feel badly for anyone who ever has to deal with you. It must be difficult for you to live that kind of hate in your heart. Thankfully, I don't have that. Fine, for those of you who said I did not listen to this community, I want you to know I heard you. But I also listened to those that supported our decision without the rage. I will never understand your rage. It's twisted. I spent hours every week listening to this community, to the teachers, to the staff, and to the students, and I have no regrets. Finally, to the community, you have some fine school board members that are here still, who will continue to represent you with honor. Keep your eyes open for those who are not here for you, but for their own pompous egos. Be an upstander and speak up. Don't sit quietly back while they destroy your children. Meeting adjourned. Can I get a motion to adjourn? I'm sorry. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.